Hello everyone. So my name is Shilpa Bhatti and I'm a rank holder and presently I'm on leave. I'm preparing for next year. So today we'll be discussing like nuances of how to write an essay, right? So twice I've scored a good score in essay. So just before I start with the strategy and all, I just want to tell you that essay is the most scoring part in your UPSC mains. So no matter how hard you try in your GS papers, maximum, like if you see this year in ethics, I think one person has scored 129 marks. So that's the highest score in GS, right? So no matter how many books you are studying, how many answers you are writing, there's some benchmark. Like above this GS may you won't score much marks. Like obviously last year in GS they gave kind of lenient marking and there was some 140 plus and 130 people were getting, but that's not the case everywhere. Usually 1 year they'll pick up one subject and give lenient marking, and that doesn't make a difference because everybody is getting marks in that range, right? So essay in that case becomes very important. So in my case, I'll tell you, twice I scored 154 and 157. So that's not possible in GS to score 150 plus marks, but it's possible in essay. I've scored it twice. You can also score it. So main thing is you get through that nuances, how to write an essay. Once you get hold of it, like how to structure an essay, right? How to write in a proper flow, how to have a proper coherence in your essay, right? How to, arrange your thoughts in a proper orderly fashion, right? So you can easily score that 151, at least 140, 150 ki range mein you can score, and people have even scored 165 in essay, right? So essay is something in which you put a very minimum amount of effort. Probably if you give total 1 week for essay, 1 week I'm saying it's too much, right? You'll need probably 4 or 5 days to get hold of essay, how to write it, right? If you give 1 week for your essay, it's sorted. Your 150 marks or 150 40 marks are not going anywhere, and it's a huge score. Essay and interview will make your score boost a lot, and both don't have much effort to put in, right? So if I talk about my first attempt, I was really sure about my essay writing skills. I was good in writing during my school times, right? I didn't practice any of the essay, right? But that year I scored just 90 marks. Okay? Out of 250, just 90 marks. So one thing I realized, it the essays which you are writing in your at your school level or your college level, and one you are writing in your UPSC are entirely different, right? UPSC is expecting something different out of your essay. It is expecting that your thoughts have a orderly fashion. In fact, just from this class, just go back and see there's a syllabus, not really syllabus, but few caveats are given in the syllabus itself about your essay ka, like how to write an essay or what they are expecting out of it. I've just noted down that syllabus here only. So UPSC has written that candidates are expected to remain closely to the subject and write in a orderly fashion, right? These are the two caveats they have written in your essay writing, and these are very important, right? Orderly fashion may your thoughts coming is the main key to score in your essay. If the order is haphazard, for example, if you are writing, like if there's something about women empowerment, for example, so you're writing some positive points about women empowerment, then you are mixing up it with some negative aspect, and then again you are writing positive. So there's no proper order in your thoughts, right? You're just mixing up things, right? You're not dividing your essay into different parts. If you're explaining women empowerment, are you dividing into political empowerment, economic empowerment? No, you're not dividing it. I'm just giving a brief introduction. Detailed structure will go as we progress in the class, right? So main demand is orderly fashion of your thoughts. That is very, very important. So what happened wrong in my first attempt when I scored 90 marks was that I used lot of examples. I used lot of quotes, etc. Everything was good. Language was good, right? And examples were there. But main thing that was missing was order. Whatever was coming into my mind, I was jotting it down, right? So you have to be orderly in your essay. So what we'll be discussing in today's class is how to prepare, and then second will be, right? These will be the two parameters which we'll be discussing today. So the first point is how to prepare, right? Major part of your content or your fodder material will come from your GS preparation only, right? Once you are thorough with your GS preparation, because topics will be from your GS only. If you see past 10 years or 20 years essay paper, you will find there is certain continuity in the kind of topics they are asking, right? Just go back, probably some market mein book is also available for essay previous year paper, so they might have segregated. If they have not segregated, just see that, they'll ask something about economy, they'll ask something about social issue. Every 2 years they'll ask something about women issues. Like in 2017 there was a question, realization of modern woman is a myth. Then again in 2020 they have asked something about patriarchy, right? So the theme remains same, so it's women related, only the topic has changed. And your content will also, like, you'll just need to do some fine tuning with your content, and content will remain same. So likewise, you'll have some topics on science and technology, you'll have some topics on economy, right? Now UPSC has changed their question paper of essay a little bit. Section A, they are asking purely philosophical essay, right? In philosophical essay, I'll also discuss, like, some essays are purely philosophical, which we have to explain some abstract concept, but others are quote based, more quote based, where you can explain the things. Like there was an essay last year, something about to be human and to be humane, right? So you can explain that part about what is being human or what is being humane, and then again you have to explain though with examples only. We'll just discuss once we discuss the structure of the essay, right? Okay, so your major content will come from your GS part only. Second is, just go back and see some toppers essay. I'll also give you, like, just ping me on Telegram. I'll just send my 2 mock essays I've written. So toppers may, one is an old topper by the name of Gaurav Agarwal. And second, like these were which I referred, Bhavesh Mishra. So both these people have written really nice essays. And otherwise also just go online and search answer scripts of toppers. So what happens here is you get fodder material without doing much effort, right? Somebody has written some essay on environment or economy or women or tribal issues or any philosophical essay, you'll get directly the fodder material, right? You can make notes on A4 size paper, divided into different topics. Like if anything comes in the newspaper, right? So you will just jot it down. Any example is coming, right? Same thing with very minimum. These are the, like, this list is not exhaustive. I just told you, like, these essays I've personally read, so I have liked their writing style and also good examples they've given, right? So you can, first step should be just go back and read toppers essay who have scored good marks in essays, right? You'll get an whole, like, what UPSC is looking for, what UPSC, for which UPSC is awarding marks. They're giving 150 marks, they're giving 160 marks, right? So just go back and read those essays. In fact, in GS also, once you start writing your answer, usse pehle just go back and see some toppers copies, right? Because analyzing those papers, you will realize what UPSC is expecting. Like for example, this year only, if you'll see this rank 1 Shubham, right? So he's written his answers in pointer forms, right? He has not even written full sentences, but lot of points are there, lot of dimensions are there. So you can gauge from this fact that UPSC is not looking for elaborate discussions, right? They are looking more for not for depth but breadth of your answer, right? More dimensions, more number of dimensions you're writing. If it's a 10 marker, you're writing good 8-9 points, you're getting good marks. You'll get 6.5, you'll get even 7 marks, right? So toppers ki copy, especially the people who have given last year, right? Or 2 years back, right? So you'll get a hold that, okay, what is working, right? Without analyzing what UPSC is looking for, you're not really preparing for the paper, right? So best way to prepare is, first is toppers ki copy, right? How they are writing, which examples they are looking. In fact, their essay copies will serve as notes for you, right? I'm not remembering one person's name. So like while searching online only, I found his copy, 3-4 copies, and he had written very beautiful essays on environment. Probably he might be interested in environment or something. So my most of the examples from environment came from his essays only. So I collected, so I didn't need to go back and search online or do some other research on environment essay. I collected the fodder material from his essays only. So do such kind of smart work where you save time, right? So collect from toppers copy, or just go through their writing style plus make your notes about from their essays. ठीक है. Second is there is a site called Better India. So this site usually displays this positive news, right? Only positive. Some DC in any district has done some good work, right? Some NGO has done some good work, right? Some any good practices which is taking place in some state or international best practices there. For example, if I say like for health, Cuba's consultorio model is very famous, or Delhi's Mohalla clinics is very famous. So I got this example from this site, right? So if you'll search through, 10, 11 or 15 pages of this site, you'll get good examples for each topic. Probably if you're writing any essay on child issues or, issues about women or about, anything even related to philosophy, right? You'll get good examples here, ethical examples, right? So collect your examples from this site, very good site. Third is, so collect your fodder material from here, right? Third exercise which you have to do is search for best practices. So best practices, like I said, for health, like Cuba's model is famous. And like I'll just, when I progress through the lecture, I'll tell you why these best practices are important. So Cuba is important for health. Then for education, Nordic countries are very famous, right? If there's some essay on agriculture, so Telangana government's Kakatya mission, it's very famous for its irrigation work it has done in irrigation sector, right? So in newspaper, online, anything you find which can be summed up as a best practice, just jot it down, right? So make, small, very concise notes, because anyhow you won't be explaining these examples in detail, but just while you are writing your essay to validate your point, you will be using these examples. So these 3-4 things will help you to prepare for your essay. I think it will take hardly 3 days, minimum 3 days to just consolidate first, like when you're reading topper's copy. After that, every day you're reading newspaper or something is coming in the news. You saw some video on YouTube, like I had a habit of watching TED Talks during my dinner time. So I've collected a lot of fodder material from TED Talks. Like for example, there's a TED Talk by, old TED Talk by Bhutan's PM on environment. It's a very beautiful, this TED Talk, right? You get a lot of fodder material from that. And then I saw a TED Talk with respect to mental health, right? So there was a psychologist in Ethiopia, I think. So I'm just giving an example just to tell you like how the essay should go about. See, so he in Ethiopia, he found that, a lot of people, young people, they're undergoing depression, anxiety because they don't have somebody to talk to. And on the other side, the older people, they are undergoing anxiety and depression. Same, nobody is ready to talk to them because they're old, right? So he created these grandma benches in different playgrounds, open areas in Ethiopia. So you can actually come there, an older person can come and sit there, a younger person can come and sit there, and they can talk. They're not knowing each other, but they can talk about their life problems and discuss it. And it was found that after that study was done, that some level of, cases of anxiety, depression, even suicide came down after this whole experiment. So collect such good examples, right, which you can quote in your essays, right? And this will anyhow help in your other GS part also. If GS2 may in health section they ask, so mental health is really important these days, right? Although mental health policy, I think it was released in 2017 or 18, but still question can be expected out of that, because health and education forms an important part of your GS2 syllabus, right? So quote these examples in your answers also. So when you are doing an analysis, may it be essay, may it be some GS paper, you can only validate it with some good examples. When you write examples, especially in your essay and ethics, if you're writing good amount of examples, you are bound to get good marks. So look out for these good examples. And especially like students come and ask like, what should we look for in newspaper? Is, current affair booklet enough? Current affair booklets no doubt is enough, but these kind of good examples or some good study, you cannot find them in your current affair booklets. So these are the main reason, and plus the editorials. These are the 2 reasons why you should read newspaper daily, right? So collect these good examples from newspaper, right? So you'll get a lot of good examples from Better India, newspaper, then toppers booklets, and right, and just search Google for some best practices, anything done in the field of women empowerment or anything like that, right? ठीक है. So now the main thing, how to write an essay. So essay can be written in many ways. There's no set way to write an essay. I'll just discuss what worked for me twice. So these are the broad parameters around which your essay will go about, right? So first for the essay, see, essay is not like your typical GS answer, right? GS answer is very technical, right? Very dry. You're not conversing. You're just giving information. You're giving facts. You're analyzing something. So essay is little different. See it as you're telling some story to someone, right? The examiner should feel that somebody has taken time to weave a story around it, right? They're telling their thoughts, right? So don't be very technical. So don't start your essay with a definition. If there's some, essay, for example, on say fourth industrial revolution, you don't start with defining your fourth industrial revolution, right? You weave a story around it, right? That is what is anecdote. So try to start your essay with some story, right? Try to start with some fictional story or non-fictional story, whatever suits you. So I'll give an example. So for example, there was an essay when I gave my attempt. So there was an essay about how minds are made in classrooms or something. So about education, right? So I started my story with this. There's a person in Ladakh on which that movie Three Idiots was based. What is his name? I'm forgetting. Sorry. Sonam Wangchuk, right? So I started the this essay with Sonam Wangchuk's story, how he was, when he came back to his village, he saw that the pass percentage in class 10 and 12 was quite low, right? So he just went around and found that people are not teaching to they're not teaching to children in a manner they should learn. They're just throwing information at them, right? So he developed this novel concept of his school where students are taught while doing things, right? So he developed this concept of ice stupa, which later solved the problem of irrigation also in Ladakh, right? So they do different activities in a school. If you have seen that Hindi movie Three Idiots, at the last they show how the school is quite experiment based, right? They learn things by doing things, right? So this story, just a little story, just anecdote if you are writing, just 1 page, right? So your essay spans around 7 pages. So just 1 page of little story, right? For example, if there's some essay on human resource development. So there was a story which I read about French education ministers. So that woman, she was a migrant from Morocco, right? Her family belonged to a community where they rear these sheep and all, right? So her father, they migrated to France, right? At that time, she didn't have even primary education, but her father really stressed about education. She got her education, she did her law, right? And then went into politics. And at the end of the day, she became education minister. So I am weaving a story at the start. If the essay is about human resource development, what is the importance of human? So I am weaving a story that telling them that how a person from Morocco who would have probably been rearing sheep back in her village, but because of education, she is now the education minister of France. So you're weaving a story. You are binding examiners' interest, right? So so you don't have to search anything or, write beforehand. Probably for broad topics, you can decide. Like this Sonam Wangchuk story, I used it twice. There was essay on education, then again there was essay on innovation. Just changed the language, wrote the same story in 2 different years, right? So you will find a lot of cross, usage of these stories, these examples, right? So everyday life, you just have to expand it, right? If there's an essay on globalization, for example, so you can possibly weave a story. You don't have any example from real life, weave a story something like that. Okay, a person is getting up in the morning, he's switching off his mobile, that is from Apple, right? So again, you can see like the phone is getting imported from somewhere, right? Probably he's having his tea, which has been imported from some other country. Then he's switching on his TV, watching BBC. So you can say that, show his whole routine of the day and show that how globalization is actually impacting his whole day, all the routine, right? So weave a story around any subject. If women empowerment is there, so women empowerment ka there was an essay, modern woman is a myth, right? So I started with a story. There was a recent incident at that time. A woman in Chandigarh, she worked as a DJ, and she was while coming back from her home, she was harassed by a BJP member's son, right? So in that, I just wrote down that okay, that woman is coming. So the topic was, is realization of modern woman a myth? So I just narrated the whole incident, what happened. Then I wrote down at the end, just posed some question that, you know, a woman nowadays, she's getting that choice. She worked as a DJ in a disc. So she's getting that choice to have a unconventional career in disc jockeying. But again, you know, she doesn't have that much freedom, that she's still being harassed, which was probably done being done from last 100 years. So, you know, realization of modern. So I'm just posing the same question, which is the topic of the essay, right? So you weave a story, write a story, any that can be fictional or any example from the newspaper. Just try to correlate beforehand. Also, you can form these, like collect these example, probably go back to Quora, search for some good stories, good examples. Or if you are in the exam, you're not getting like, okay, what this story should I write? Like, for example, once there was some question on technology. So I just weaved a story about a grandmother and a grandchild who are living in different cities. Just a humane story to create kind of connection with the examiner, right? You bind that interest at the start. You're telling some story. So this is not, so my point is, this is not a GS answer. You don't start with the technical definition. You don't have to be really dry when you're introducing your essay, right? You have to tell a story. Be a storyteller in your essay, right? That thing should come. So flowery language, I'm not saying you have to write very hi-fi language or very heavy words. In the simple language, but it should be in such a way that you are interacting with the examiner, right? Once you are done with your anecdote, you have written a story, you have written some fictional or non-fictional story, at the end, just pose some questions. After you pose some question, write down that we'll discuss this in the upcoming essay, right? So this thing, which this I think, if you read Anudeep's essay, also he also like writes a story or something, and then after that he poses some 3-4 questions, and then he'll discuss that all those questions in your body of the essay, right? So this is very important, and I am not saying this is the only way to start essay. I'm just saying this thing has really worked for me, right? So you can actually start, and this is the best way, right? You can have some story or some example ready with yourself beforehand, and you don't have to think in your examination hall like how to start your essay, because this is the problem in your GS answer also, or an essay also. You waste a lot of time in thinking about how to introduce something, right? So in GS also, I used to do the same thing. I used to have ready-made introduction ready with me. Like if in economy, I'll write down 7-8 introduction. Like if question comes on pisciculture or horticulture or on land reforms or something, I'll have this ready, right? Something, some statistics, some committee reports, right? Some facts or figures, or some a simple definition. So this lessens your time. And so you have to write your answer in 9 minutes. So if your introduction is ready with you, you're saving 1 minute, right? Once you read the question, you're just writing the introduction because you're already thorough with that, right? Same in essay. Beforehand, just see what type of essay UPSC is asking and prepare certain examples, like how you will introduce your essay, right? So this is a good way to start your essay, right? Okay. So next is your introduction. So once after your anecdote, you are posing certain questions, right? You move on to this introduction part. So introduction is, you identify the basic theme of the essay. Is it women empowerment, right? Is it something about economy, right? Is it something about education, health or something? And you explain that term very briefly, half page or little more than that, right? You explain that main theme, right? Here you explain the main theme. Like if I wrote a essay on women empowerment, I'll just write down what is women empowerment, what do I mean by women empowerment, what are the various dimensions of women empowerment. So you introduce that basic theme of the essay in your introduction very briefly. But if the essay is philosophical, just differing here, if the essay is philosophical, this introduction part becomes very important. Why? Because there can be multiple interpretation of a philosophical quote, right? ठीक है? Through introduction, at the start of the essay, you're telling the examiner how you have interpreted this term. So this part is very important when you're writing some philosophical essay. So, for example, a few years back, there was an essay about being gendered or gender, something like that. Just go back and see. So there was quite a, even Mr. Shashi Tharoor, he asked the question in parliament. Like, people have interpreted that thing in different ways because there was a Hindi interpretation, like Hindi translation given at the beneath that English thing, and people use that thing to write an essay. But in English, there was some people interpreted it in a different way. So to avoid that, in philosophical essay, properly explain how you have interpreted the basic theme. What do you mean? Like, how do you comprehend that philosophical term or quote? Right? So this introduction part becomes very important in your this philosophical essay, right? And other essays like section B, you can complete it in half a page or more than half a page. But in your this philosophical essay, this will go about 1.5 page, where you are telling the examiner how you have comprehended the term, right? And that is very, very important. So if you're at the start, you're not telling the examiner, because for philosophy is such thing, different people might interpret it different manner, right? So examiner at the start of essay should know that how you have comprehended. And in UPSC, if you are giving a good if you are writing your viewpoint, you're just explaining it like, okay, this is how I interpret it. Every kind of interpretation is acceptable, like obviously close to the topic, but it is acceptable. So it's better to explain it to the examiner that this is how I have understood this statement. So this part becomes very important in your philosophical essay, right? Okay. So now the major part or the main marks will come from your body of your essay, right? So out of 7 pages, 5.5 have to be devoted to this body of the essay. Major marks will come from here only, right? Anecdote, introduction, they're just for giving you some brownie points, right? If you are binding the examiner, probably he'll give you plus 10 more marks, plus 15 more marks. But the main marks will come from here. Your thoughts will be delivered to the examiner, how you are thinking, what is your thought process, how you are ordering your thoughts. This will come from your body of your essay, right? So major focus should be here. So those examples which you collected while notes making or when you read the topper's essay will come in the body of the essay. So we'll divide the body of essay into 2 parts: temporal scale and spatial scale. So once you have introduced the concept, you switch on to body of the essay and you start writing about temporal scale. So what is temporal scale? So see, temporal scale in essay is, like for example, there's some essay on democracy or any essay. So think a little deeper and see if you can find certain examples from ancient India, medieval India, modern India during your freedom struggle, from world history, something like that. So that examiner should know that you have comprehended the topic well and you are also connecting it with history. For example, democracy is there. So you can write probably something about Vedic age when Sabhas and Samitis were there, or when republics were there, right? And during the period of Buddha, there were some certain republics where there was some rudimentary form of democracy, right? So these things will help create a connection with the history, right? So you are, telling the examiner your thoughts that, okay, I can connect this topic with history as well. So this is the level of my thinking, right? So I can give me any topic, and any topic, if you'll think a little hard, you'll get examples. Even if it's if it's an essay on sports, I'm just remembering because I've written this in one of my mock tests. So even if it's about sports, so you can write in even in the Stone Age, if we see the Bhimbetka caves, the certain form of games, somebody's throwing spear or something, or horse riding. So probably some rudimentary form of sports was there, right? And then, in India, certain form of wrestling, it started in ancient India as well, archery, right? These were major forms of entertainment. Not, sports didn't have an institutionalized form, which it has now, but still you can have examples from here, right? Then I also remember there was some topic I had written, that those who control the sea control the world, if you have such topic, right? So it's a quote based topic, right? So when you go about in history, you can write how the lack of knowledge of seafaring affected India's integrity during medieval age, right? And then also you can quote it from your Vedic age, like in Lothal we had an artificial dockyard. So like this, try to connect the topic of your essay with something in the history, in the past, right? And then you just transverses from ancient age to medieval age if you can find an example, right? For example, if I say about sports, so in medieval age, the slave dynasty's founder, Kutubuddin Aibak, he died while playing polo. So you can write, like from this example, we can see that, sports, obviously you're not glorifying his death, you are just telling that, there was sports form there, even though it was an entertainment form. And then you come to the British period and just tell that how modern games got introduced during that time. So like this, I'm just giving example, like given for democracy, given for sports. So like this, if there's something on health, you probably start telling about Ayurveda during ancient time, right? So something in the history. And even for philosophical essay or for normal essays, you'll find something. If something is there on women empowerment, you start writing from what was the condition of women in ancient era and how it progressed or how it deteriorated during the coming times, right? So try to connect it with this history. And this style I copied it from this topper called Gaurav Agar. He's rank 1 old topper, 2013, right? He used to start he was history optional students. He used to start his essay with this temporal scale, right? So I thought like better way should be to start the essay can be through anecdote. So like this, I'm saying this is not exhaustive list, right? This worked for me. You can just fine tune whatever suits you, right? So I used his temporal style of introduction and body of my essay. So in case you're not remembering any anecdote or something, you can actually start with temporal scale. Your essay, you can start with that. That can also be a good way, right? So likewise, if you'll go through different toppers copies, you will realize everybody will have a different manner of writing. So just pick up good points or anything which suits you, right? In UPSC preparation, see what is working for toppers, but don't blindly copy them, right? Everybody have their unique style. Don't lose that novelty in your writing, right? Don't copy excessively from somebody's writing style. Innovate your own style, right? Because something which you are innovating yourself remains with you throughout, right? You don't have to go back and see like, okay, how I have to write that essay. So go back, see toppers copy, but also improvise in a way that you can reproduce in the exam, right? So this way, temporal scale is done. So body of the essay, you write temporal scale. So once you are done with the temporal scale, so in essay, one thing is very important, connectivity, right? Each part of the essay, if you are writing anecdote, when you are finishing the introduction, when you're starting the temporal scale, there has to be one connecting line, right? Like if you are conversing with someone, you're having a conversation with someone, you don't abruptly start with some other topic, right? You give some context, like, okay, I want to talk about different thing. You give us some connecting line, you give some context. Same occurs with your essay, right? You write some connecting line. Like after an anecdote, I said, post some questions, right? And then write, okay, we'll discuss. After introduction, once you're done with the introduction, you've, explained the basic main theme of the essay, the term you have explained, and you have to move to the temporal scale. You can just write down like, let's see in the history, let's move back and see, something like that. This is a connecting line. Any connecting line can be there. Let's go back to the history and check what was the status of women, or let's go back and transverse through different epochs of history and see how. So some line like this. So you can create this line beforehand also, right? So certain kind of connectivity has to be there in your essay. If connectivity is not there, you'll get average marks. Order plus connectivity, that is very, very important in your essay. So with change of every this parameter of the essay, once you are moving from anecdote to introduction to body, in fact, even different paragraphs, there should be always a connecting line, right? It shouldn't be a abrupt change in something. Like if you are explaining some political reason and then you abruptly switch to economic, no. Write some political, like if you're done with the political reason, then you can just simply write down like, okay, political reason is there, but there are certain other reason also, and then you explain economic. Then when you shift from economic to social, then again you write some connecting line. So this connectivity is very important. It's like you are having a conversation with the examiner. He's trying to comprehend your thoughts through this, right? They shouldn't like look like something which is abrupt, which is not ordered, right? So this connectivity is very important. Okay, so coming back, so temporal scale is done. Now this, so the temporal scale you can finish in 1 page or something, 1.5 page, right? So major pages, 3 to 4, or in fact 5 will come from your spatial scale. So how to move about your spatial scale? Okay, so spatial scale. So are you aware of this PESEL approach? So we use this in your GS answer also. So PESEL approach is, you write some dimension from politics, political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental. And again, this is not exhaustive, and probably not in every essay you will be able to cover each and every dimension, but these are the different dimensions you have to cover in your spatial scale. So what are you basically doing in your spatial scale is that you are discussing the various dimensions which are related to your essay, right? You're giving a, a breadth to your essay. You're explaining different points, different dimensions, how you have comprehended that thing. If women empowerment is there, you're discussing around these line, like, okay, what will be the political women empowerment, what will be the economic one, what will be the social one, technological, legal, like this, right? So you're giving certain breadth to your answer. So this forms the major part of your marks. You go about these points. Like for example, if you have, like, I'll discuss women empowerment only. So the topic was, again, is realization of modern woman a myth. So question has been posed, right? So once you start discussing about different dimension, you have to take consider one fact, that UPSC expects you to be very unbiased, right? It wants you to have a balanced opinion on anything. In GS also, right? Even if they're asking for, explicitly for criticism or not asking for your criticism, you have to write that, right? So that balanced approach has to be done in your essay also. Like for example, like in GS answer, I'll just give an example. I had this structure, the thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. So what is the structure is that thesis is your main demand of question. If they're asking something about Panchayati Raj, it's a tool of reaching the democracy to the grassroots level. So explaining it in different points how it is being done, that is thesis. But now antithesis is, I am criticizing it. I'm writing about probably about Sarpanch Pati, or I'm telling about bogus Dalit candidates being, standing for election or something. Okay? So same thing comes in essay. So you have to be very balanced in your approach. So if you are a civil servant who is, serving in your district, right? A problem comes in front of you. So one thing is you have to think about it in a 360-degree manner, right? You have to see what can be the political implication, economic implication, social implication. If you're taking some action, can there be some discontent among different community or something? So 360-degree angle, comprehensively you're thinking about some problem, right? So how will UPSC test that? They'll test through your answers, through your essay. Are you able to comprehend that same thing in your, like, how will they know? Some person who is checking your copy, it's very impersonal. Only through your answer, only through your essay, he'll know, like, okay, no, he's a balanced person. He knows everything. He'll cover all the points, right? Apart from having a comprehensive 360-degree view, second is you're also able to analyze that will be the challenges, right? What can be the drawbacks? What can be the lashbacks if I take such action? So this also has to show it in your essay. So if you are writing, is modern realization of modern women of myth, you give certain positive points, like, okay, politically we had Panchayati Raj mein reservation hui, right? We have a bill pending in parliament where reservation will be given to women. Like, usse political empowerment hogi. Probably collect some good example. Like if I remember from my preparation, I had this example of a sarpanch in Rajasthan village, Norti Bai. So that's a very good example. Okay, she did a wonderful work with respect to your IT revolution in her village. So you give examples, lot of examples, right? You can quote different women leaders if they have worked in different areas, right? And then you talk about economic empowerment. You give examples. You talk about different CEOs. You talk about Indra Nooyi, right? You tell them how they have performed very well in the economic sector, right? How today slowly women are going into position of power, right? Then again, then if you talk about social issues, you can tell how we have overcome certain social evils, right? Women are now participating in the economic sector or in the political sector, with men, right? Then we had different laws for different like for sexual harassment, for rape laws. All this has been strengthened. So this is a tool of empowerment for women. So through these we are realizing a modern woman, right? And then when you go back to, you've done with the positive points, and then you write a connecting line like, okay, picture is not that rosy. We still have certain problems, right? If political you are talking, you can say, not much power is with them. Women ministers or women sarpanches are there, but again, probably if you have seen on Prime Video, if you've seen that show called Panchayat, so they have beautifully explained the concept of sarpanchpati. So everybody in the village, they address that woman sarpanch's husband as sarpanch, not her, right? So this is the level of patriarchy which has penetrated into our society. She has won the election, but again they're not ready to give her credit. Only her husband is being called the sarpanch. So like this, you tell some negative. For economic, you can tell still there is glass ceiling. In what is glass ceiling? Glass ceiling is that in major MNCs or in different companies, etc., there's still a level to which women will get promoted, right? All the top positions, all the management positions are occupied by men, right? So again, if labor force participation is still less, then women's career is not given that importance, right? Her income is seen as a surplus to the house, right? If men is having a good opportunity in some other city, the whole family gets relocated. But that's not the case with women. She has to compromise with her career just because her husband is working in some company. So like this, you give a other side of the story, right? So this is very, very important, even in your GS answer, even in your essay, right? So everything you are writing, everything will not be positive. There will be some negative point to that, right? So you have to bring about that. For example, I'm remembering one story right now. So Indra Nooyi, who is Pepsi CEO. So once she was promoted, when she was promoted as a CEO, so after that she gave an interview. She said like during one of the time, I like sealed a very big deal for PepsiCo, right? So I called my mother to tell her that, okay, I've done this great job and something. So when her mother picks up, she doesn't listen to her, and she just starts talking that, okay, your one kid is having fever. You may be CEO of some company or something. You have some responsibility. Come back at earliest. So she was telling, I can be the CEO of any company. I can be the most powerful person. But still same patriarchal gender roles are being expected out of me, right? So there's a contrast. At one point, she's leading one company. But again, when she comes back home, she's expected the same gender roles which were there since, thousands or last few centuries, same roles, right? In fact, if we see a modern woman today, she is being burdened with like twice. There's a double burden on her. Not only she has to work outside, but taking care of children, taking care of the kitchen is still her responsibility. So try to create certain contrast, right? Try to create a contrast and convey to the examiner that, okay, I know the other side of the story also. And that is very, very important, right? In your GS answers. So most of the time people say I've written, good points with respect to certain topics, but I was not able to score much in GS. Why? The major problem, because one of my friends did find that he was really good with answer writing, right? He had read numerous sources, but his GS score used to be very less. So like he consulted some rank holder. He told that, your answer is lacking certain criticism. You're just writing what is being asked in the question. So even if it is explicitly asked in the question or in the essay, right, you still have to write criticism or drawbacks or challenges about that topic. And next year, his score increased and he got a rank. So you can see they're expecting a balanced approach from you. May it be essay, may it be GS. In fact, even in optional, if you are covering any thinker, right? If I had sociology optional, so if I'm covering Karl Marx, for example, they've asked some theory about Karl Marx, right? Probably his theory of historical materialism. So if I am not writing criticism of that story, I'm not really completely writing that answer. I'm not doing justice with that answer, right? So this negative aspect or the criticism or the other side of the story is very important, right? And second thing is, sometimes the topic or the question in GS itself, if I talk about, maybe, reversed. They may ask you to criticize first, right? They might ask that, okay, Panchayati Raj has not worked up to mark, like there are a lot of lacuna, explain. Okay? So questions language is such, you have to first criticize it, right? But when after you criticize, you have to at the end write some positive points. So both the things. Okay? If the question is critically analyzed and you're writing certain challenges, drawbacks with respect to some bill, but at the end of the act, do write certain positive points. Right? So both the ways, it works both the ways. If you're writing positive first, you write negative after that. If you're writing negative first, then you write the positive after that. So keep a balanced approach. Balanced approach is very, very important. This is the major criteria they're looking for in civil servant. You have to be very unbiased, very balanced person throughout your service, right? So this is one quality they are looking for in your answers. Be very balanced in your approach and try to explain as many as dimensions possible. Same goes in essay, right? This special approach is not exhaustive, right? You can have other things also. Probably you can, if some essay is related to IR, so they'll have lot of things. You can write about strategic importance, something about ocean policy, right? So numerous dimensions can be there. These are just broad points on which you can cover your essay, right? And this is very, very important. Okay, most of your marks will come here. And once you are explaining, like for example, if you're telling about women empowerment, it has to be accompanied by example. Examples are very, very important in your ethics and your essay, like I told in the starting also. So if you are writing some point, try to validate it with some current example or any example from, way back in news or something like that. So try to validate your analysis with some example. Right? If you are I gave the example of that Sarpanch Noorti Bai, if you are writing something about women empowerment and you are quoting it like, okay, this person has, done certain great work here, it will create a good impression. So, I am now remembering, I wrote essay on some innovation or something. There was some essay. So I gave examples of innovations. Like in one of my points, I, even talked about this Indian, I don't know if you understand Hindi. In Hindi, there's a word called jugaad. So that's in India, most of the things work on that only, right? We'll devise a certain method which is a shortest way to that. So explain that also. So give certain examples, right? Always essay mein lot of examples are required. That is why I said from Better India, go back and collect examples from different. And while you are reading newspapers, you come across any, IS officer doing some good work or some NGO doing some good work, just collect it. And if you are one day before your essay or 2 days before your essay, you just revise all those examples and there'll be cross connection and you can use the same example multiple ways, right? Like I said, I use the same story in essay about education, then next year I used it same story in innovation, right? So this example collection is very important, and these examples will also help in your ethics also. So ethics and essay, whenever you start preparing, ethics and essay have to be done sidewise. You'll have a lot of benefit if you're preparing, if you just align your preparation in such a way that your ethics and essay are, you're preparing it in, probably in the same month or same week. That will be very good, right? Okay. So this was the spatial scale and most of your marks will come here. Then again, second point is some people ask what is the importance of quotes in the essay? Quotes, if you can learn, very good. If you can't learn, it's okay. Okay, probably learn just one quote, a single quote or two quote, but don't overdo with the quotes. Why? because essay is something about your thoughts, what you are thinking about the topic, not some random ABC thinker said something about that. It's about your own thoughts, right? So like I was giving a feedback few days back only to a friend who is preparing. So he had written, something, there was some essay on bureaucracy or something. So he was sociology student, so he had written whole of the Marx Weber's theory on bureaucracy. No, that is not what is the aim of essay. It's about your thoughts. Obviously you can validate your point with some what thinker said, or what there's some quote you remembered, but not, do not base your entire essay on these quotes, or what some random xyz person said. It's about your own thoughts. Your own thoughts can be validated by some other person who is a experienced person in that, but don't totally rely on quotes and everything, and don't overdo with the quotes. In one essay probably use 2 or 3 quotes, that's it. I had a habit of ending my essay with some good quote, right? So you can do that, collect some good quotes. Quotes will again be very beneficial, for more beneficial for your ethics, right? If for ethics you just go through some quotes, for example with respect to integrity or honesty, we have any quote, or emotional intelligence, that will be more beneficial in your ethics wala. Because in ethics you have to talk about thinkers, right? So in ethics it is important, but essay is all about you, what you think, what are your views about that, how do you comprehend this thing, right? An essay is one thing, there are 7 pages, right? You have full freedom to give away your thoughts, and it is the most riskiest area, because you're exposing yourself in the essay, right? You're writing your own thoughts in 7 page, you're actually exposing yourself. So be very aware what you are writing, right? Essay can give you a lot of marks also, but sometimes if you are not writing in a good manner, you're not writing in an orderly manner, or you're giving very revolutionary ideas, be very positive and balanced in your essay. Don't give lot of revolutionary ideas ki, okay, we can do this, we can do that. No, very balanced, very grounded views have to be there in the essay. So try to tell your views rather than telling what some person said in 18th century or 19th century. What are your views? What are the current relevance? Right? That is also very important. If you're quoting something from news, you're actually conveying it to the examiner that, okay, I have read something in the newspaper and I can relate it to your topic, whatever you're giving me here. Right? So try to explain that to the examiner. Right? Okay. And then, obviously, like I said, balanced approach. Okay. After that, when you are done with your positive and the negative part, right, you're explained, and just be follow a proper order. Once you are done with positive points, then only start with negative points. Some people have habit, for example, if you are covering the political angle, they'll first write positive and then write negative, then move on to economic part, positive, negative. No, it creates a haphazard kind of thing in your essay, right? First write the positive points and then write a connecting line like, okay, these are the things which are working in favor of this XYZ thing. But again, there are problems, there are certain drawbacks or challenges. And then you continue with your negative point. So, see, content everybody has, right? If you are going through, there are 4 GS paper, by the time you are done with the preparation, there'll be, prelim comes, it will be 1 year. Right? You're reading newspapers daily, you're covering different current affairs. So every one of you have sufficient content with you. Content will never be a problem in essay. But these small things, right? How to arrange your thoughts, right? How to don't mix up things, right? If you're writing positive and negative points, mixing them up, so you are not really writing a good essay. So these small things will make a difference. Content everybody has. Today there's no information asymmetry. If we talk about 10 years earlier, or in fact since 2013, there have been lot of information dissemination due to coming up of these Telegram groups and everything. Lot of information. In fact, there is an information overload now. You have to, in UPSC, one of my friend who's a rank holder, so he told me, in UPSC it's more important what not to study than what to study, right? If you master that art, your rank is not going anywhere, right? So be very specific in your preparation, right? So these small things will matter, because content anyhow everybody has. If you're writing a history answer, what other person can write extra, right? If there is some question on, say, Gupta art, everybody will be writing the same points. What will matter is structure of your answer. If you're doing certain value addition, are you drawing some flow chart? Are you drawing some diagram? That will make a difference. That's GS answer. In essay, don't draw diagrams. It disrupts the flow of the essay, right? So you have to do certain value additions, right? Basic points will be same. In fact, even if you see in prelims, right? Prelims, where the difference comes? Difference comes in those 8 and 9 questions which are tough, in which you have to do elimination. If you attempt those 8, 9 questions correctly, you are getting 100 plus score. That I have seen. Because solving easy questions doesn't matter, right? Everybody will have those questions correct. So if you are solving those difficult questions by elimination or by some intelligent guesswork, then only you can clear the prelim. So same goes in your mains. Same content everybody has, but you have to make it different with your structure, with some value addition, with some facts, with some flow charts, right? If you're writing a geography answer, you're drawing a map, right? You're drawing, in fact, in geography, make it a habit. Any question comes, map or a diagram, compulsory. You will not get good marks if you're not accompanying your geography answer with some map or a diagram, because geography is more like a visual thing, right? If you're writing something about ocean currents and you're not really showing it to the examiner, like, okay, ocean currents are going here or there, some diagram is there, you're not really explaining the things, right? You're just giving some abstract thing. So in geography, just make it a point that you draw some diagram. Okay, just coming back to the essay thing. So like I was telling, that these small things will make a difference, right? Okay, so the next part after the body of the answer is you have to discuss the steps taken. Steps taken is that, like, whatever if you're writing something about health, education, economics or something, just write down if government has done anything in that regard, right? Here comes the point where you write the best practices. You write some international best practices which you have already collected in your notes or something, right? You write those things. Okay? After you're done with your steps taken, try to divide it like not topic wise, just cover India specific things and then something which has been done internationally. So these are not the subheadings, just a mental map for you, right? It reminds me, like, with respect to mental map, before you start writing answer, devote quickly 5 to 6 minutes, not more than that. People have a habit of wasting 15 minutes. Just make a mental map at back of your essay booklet, right? Write all the dimensions. Like if you are approaching this PESEL approach, right? You just very quickly write down, like, okay, politically, I'll give this 3. For example, economically, I'll write this. Because while you start writing the essay, there's a tendency you'll forget, right? While you are writing anything, if you remember, like, okay, technological, I have to write this. So that there and then only just go back and write quickly in the technological. So this will help as a mental map while you are writing your essay. Because you are writing in examination condition, you tend to forget things, right? So at the start of the essay, make it a point to write this, to make a skeletal map, like, okay, anecdote, this story, introduction, I'll explain this, different approaches, then steps taken, I'll write these scheme, just very briefly. Use abbreviations or something, whatever is, because you only have to read that, right? So this mental map is very important. It'll help you in writing essay. In fact, for one essay, you get 1.5 hour, like 3 hours ka essay, 2 topics you have to write. So if you have this mental map ready, I used to finish one essay in quickly, there are 1.5 hours. I used to complete it 10 minutes, 5 minutes before. And that's a lot of time. You get time to even revise your essay, underline important points also at the end, if you are saving 10 minutes at the end, right? So make this mental map. Okay, coming back. So write these steps taken. Right? So here, once you have done with your positive points, you have explained the criticism, drawbacks, you've given the other side of the story, you're telling that, okay, steps have already been taken in this regard. Government has done this. So any topic can be there. This is specific to your section, section B wale topics, like which are not philosophical. If it's a philosophical essay in your section A wala topic, so here you cover different things, like, okay, what family can contribute to this. For example, the essay on being humane or something, you write down what a family can do, what society can do in this, or what they have been doing, right? At the school level, what have been. So base it more on morality level, right? More on the social institutions level. ठीक है? More like education wise or family wise, something like that, right? Give some humane concept with respect to your steps taken, right? In your philosophical essays. Okay. Then this, after this step taken is done, so always remember, apart from being balanced, UPSC expects you to be solution oriented, right? Why you being a IS officer? You want to be an IS officer, you can solve society's problem, like in whatever district you are posted, right? So you have to be solution oriented. So see, every paper has some concept behind it, right? UPSC is trying to test certain characteristics of you. Are you, suitable to be a civil servant? So this solution oriented thing in GS answer also, after you're done with your positive and negative points, you give way forward, right? Same in your essay. But an essay, the thing is, try to be novel, right? Try to write what you think can be done, right? Try to explain. Even here, any kind of novel, step is welcomed. Okay? Try to be as novel as possible. Give certain, anything which can be done in the future, something futuristic, right? Which can be explored. So give your thoughts, like what can be done about it. So be solution oriented here. So being solution oriented is very, very important in essay. So in your essay, you might have given full 2-page, blasting about how the situation is bad, how things are going very bad and everything. But at the end of the day, you will give some solution. That solution orientation is very, very important in your essay, in your GS answer, everywhere, right? So that solution orientation should come here, and this part has to be at least 1 page at the end when you're writing your, giving certain solutions. What is the way forward to go about it, right? If it's a philosophical essay, you just connected with at the moral levels, at the value level, what can be done, right? Like I said, what's in the steps taken, you discuss about different social institutions. Here you discuss, like in this philosophical essay, you discuss how different institutions of society, institutions, by institutions I mean education sector or your family, okay, and then your schools, right? How your teachers, right? How as a community we can do something in this part, right? So basic structure remains same, but in your philosophical essay you have to center more around your values, your morals, right? And the examples will also change in that way. And sometimes you tend to confuse. There are 2 type of essay in section A. One is quote based. Other is philosophical. So try quote based is generally they'll give some quote. If you'll just go back, like there was a in section A last year, last year there was an essay in section A. Simplicity is ultimate sophistication, right? So on top it may appear like, okay, it's a philosophical essay, how do I go about it? Same thing, everything is same. So then in spatial scale, for example, I'll just take this example because major problem which people are having these days writing philosophical essay. So if they talk about simplicity is ultimate sophistication, right? So only difference which occurs here is in the introduction part, you explain nicely, like what do you mean by simplicity, right? How it is related to sophistication. You explain it to the examiner how you are comprehending this term. This is the only difference. Then when you go to the spatial scale, same things will come. For example, think of any example. For example, if you're covering politics, right? So what is minimum government and maximum governance? What is that? This is simplicity, right? If you are telling something like, okay, we'll have maximum governance and minimum government. This is simplicity in the political or the governance process, right? Same thing. On surface, it is appearing that you have to explain something in flowery language. You have to tell something about simplicity. Same thing. If you're covering technology, for example, what is the best, like, why does Apple phone sell? What is the USP? Simple USP of Apple products is its simplicity, They just have one button, and then entire ecosystem, Apple ecosystem is connected. So if you're searching something on your iPhone, you copy something here, and you're working on an iPad, you can actually paste it here. So simplicity in working, right? So again, this is example, right? So same thing, it on surface it will appear that it is philosophical. You have to talk something very grand or something in some flowery language, but if you will think deep enough, and this will come with practice, right? Go back and see what are the different philosophical essay. I'll term this as not philosophical, I'll call it quote based essay, right? Okay, you'll find examples from here. Economics mein, what can be simplicity? What is ease of doing business? This is simplicity only, simplifying the different procedures, right? So when we introduced GST, what we were doing, we were simplifying it, right? So you are telling by sophistication, you can tell in the introduction, by sophistication, I mean that doing the best of the things, right? Okay? Simplifying something and making it best. That is sophistication for me, right? So in that way, you have to explain. UPSC is not expecting that you write something, you're not some thinker, right? You will not give some abstract theory, you're not Aristotle or Plato, right? You are a normal person, and in UPSC you are expected ki different dimensions say you explain that thing. Okay? So if you will think deep enough, or you will practice these philosophical essays, you will realize these are not really philosophical. These are same essays. Just aapko introduction wala part, you have to explain it in a little detail, how you comprehend this, and then same examples will come, same structure will come, right? So if you have to write about this essay, simplicity's ultimate sophistication, if you have to write in this historical aspect, right? So when Britishers came, what they did, there was a lot of there was no structure, there was no bureaucracy. When they introduced bureaucracy, they were introducing certain simplicity. Obviously with time it became complex and red tapeism came, but what they were doing, they were simplifying things. So like this you have to think about it, right? And this thinking power and thinking in different dimensions will only come with practice. So make it a point, at least in 1 month, at least write 1 or 2 essays, right? If you're not writing essays, go back and see certain sites which are giving essays every I think weekly or something. Just read different people's essay. So she told that integrity is doing something when no one is watching, right? So if you'll write enough answers, if you'll use these quotes, right, this will come naturally to you, right? So for this, what is important is practice, right? Practicing essay, practicing your answer writing, that is very important. And in fact, if you are writing answers but that are not in your examination condition, not within 9 minutes, not within 8 minutes, that can also be counterproductive, right? Some people have habit of writing assisted answers. They'll read a question, then go back and read something on that, and then come back and write. No, that will not work. That's not sustainable for a longer period, because in examination, anyhow, if you go back and see the question, they're entirely different from what you are studying, right? You have to improvise at that level. So try to write different questions, different answers. You are prepared, not prepared, just write answers, right? Because this will train your mind to attempt those questions, even for those questions you don't have much content, right? So try it. Answer writing or essay writing has to come, if you're done with your 60-65% of syllabus, try writing answers. Usually there's a question okay, I don't know how to write an answer, I'm writing very really bad answer. Nobody is judging you. Just write it down and get it checked from someone, right? You'll write really bad answer. Everybody, when I started, I used to write bad answers, right? Everybody starts with a bad answer. Nobody knows from birth how to write UPSC answers. You'll write bad answers, but through those bad answers, through those bad answers, you'll improve slowly, right? Once you write, if you're writing polity answers, say for example, here La Excellence has launched this mains test series program. So in that they are covering this micro tests and sectional tests. So in micro tests, they are including, dividing that topic into different parts. And every day, 3 questions are being given for self-evaluation. So if you are writing those in the whole week, you are writing polity answers only. So by the second week, you will get an hold okay, this have to be written in such a way, right? This is what is wrong in my structure. right? This is one, these are the points which are not to be used in the answer, right? So these things, so if you are not writing answers, so you're not really preparing for the examination, right? So try to include answer writing in your preparation, make it a part of your preparation. So we usually have this tendency, like once my preparation will be 100%, then I'll start writing essay, or then I'll start writing answers. No, that's a bad approach. Your preparation will never, even on the last day, your preparation will never be complete. I've seen people who have dropped for 1 year, again they'll say ki nahi, if I had 2 months more, I would have prepared better. So preparation will never be perfect. So in that, whatever you are reading, try to apply that information, right? Try to see if you can get somebody who can mentor you on this, answer writing or something. For example, I was talking about this mains test series. So I'll be associated. I'll be coming twice a week. So I'll be mentoring students. So if you have not joined some test series, you can join that or any test series. So major point is you are, getting it checked after writing answer. Second most important point is somebody is mentoring you, somebody is checking your answer. That is also very important, right? So find a mentor, or La Excellence is giving an opportunity. Rambabu sir will be there, then DB Kumar sir will be there, I'll be there twice a week. So you can just come, you can give test and get it corrected, and you can have a personalized feedback, like okay, this is wrong. Or otherwise, see if you have any friend who has cleared the exam or who has given at least 2 or 3 mains, you can get corrected from them, right? And okay, coming back to essay, so this was all about your essay thing, right? So just go back and just try, one essay, like whatever this structure I've told you, right? So this is my Telegram ID. So so just ping me on this. I'll send you 2 of my sample mock essay papers, right? You can just go through it. Okay? So, and even if you have some doubt or something, you can just ping me there. Probably it'll take some time, 3-4 days, because some students sometimes get agitated and ma'am is not replying. So it will take 2-3 days, but I'll reply. And probably if I don't know if you are from a same batch or something, I'll send one person or something. But again, you can message me. It's okay. So you can message me. I'll just forward you my 2 mock essays which I've written. Just go through them. If not my essays, just go back and see this year's toppers, what essays they have written, who've scored good marks. I'm not really sure about this year's who have scored the maximum marks, but I think there'll be people who have scored in 150, 160 marks. So just go back and read their mock essay papers. They'll be available online. So just go through them, see what has worked for them. Then devise a strategy which is novel for you, which works for you, right? And for essay, again, practice is the only way which which you can score good marks, right? So I think I'm done with the whatever I have to explain. Any questions from your side? Anything apart from essay also, if any problem you're facing, you can ask.